Alright everybody, this is the start of part 2 on the Halloween group build. I got the mummy on my workbench. Yesterday I applied the light flesh on his face, his head, and turned out really good. I'm happy with the results. Also worked on the pedestal stand with the desert sand that I have here, and turned out really nice. I'm going to hit, it says Micromaniac BlackHeartsModels.com. Below that, I'm going to hit that probably with some oil, and then I'll hit it with a dull coat to cover and seal that all up. I like the way the pedestal stand turned out. Looks really awesome. I don't know if I'm going to do any highlights to it or any of that. I kind of like the way it looks. I want it kind of basic and simple. On the mummy, I probably will go ahead and use this gravestone gray on his face. I'll have to remask the bottom part of the mummy here, cover that up, and then hit him with that gravestone gray. And then I'll go ahead and I'll probably use, where is it at? I'll probably go ahead and use this dead flesh after I apply that paint. And for highlighting it, I may use some faded flesh or some ghost gray. I'll figure it out when I get around to it, but I think the overall color for over the gravestone gray will be the dead flesh. And I'll take it from there, see how it looks, and what I'm going to do with the highlights and all that on the mummy. But that's what I got in store today. I'll have to take a little time out of the way and remask this off down here on the bottom. Also, this part here, the cloth material, whatever they use to mummify somebody, I may go ahead and use the gravestone gray on that too. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to see what else I got in stock for this, because I could probably use one of these oils I have here, ghost gray maybe, or faded flesh. I'm not sure. I'll figure that out. I want to use some kind of a gray, so I don't know. I may try this gravestone gray. Once I get that all figured out, I'll go ahead and show that part. But I'm rambling off again. I'm going to go ahead and pause, get this prepped up and ready for the spray booth, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, another update on the mummy. This is Thursday, September 5th. I'm off today. I work the weekend. When I work the weekend, I work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then I'll have Monday off. So today I'm back down in my hobby room, and I'm going to go ahead and start working on the mummy again. On the mummy's face, I did use, let's see where I got it at. Okay, I did primer him first, and I showed that in the first video. And then I went over him with the light flesh, Badger's light flesh. And then I thought I had it in frame. I put him back in the spray booth, and I hit him with some of this gravestone gray. It turned out awesome. From GarageKits.us. He's got a lot of paints on his site that you can order. He's even got paints for the 350 TOS Enterprise. I may attempt to get that down the road. But I thought I had it in frame when I painted that gravestone gray on him, and I just didn't have it in frame, so that's the way that goes. but I wanted to let everybody take a look. It turned out really good. So the oils I have for his face, I'm probably going to use a little bit of the Ghost Gray, definitely the Faded Flesh, and the Dead Flesh. On the pedestal, it's done. I hit it with a dull coat the other day, and then I used the black oil on the what they got here. It's Micromaniacs, and then it's blackheartmodels.com, and I highlighted that with the black oil paint that I have, and it turned out good. And then I hit it with a dull coat, and that's probably about all I'm going to do with the pedestal stand. I think it turned out awesome. Looks pretty cool. My next step is I got to mask off his face today, and then I'm going to hit the bottom here with light Ghost Gray. It's acrylic, Model Masters. I'm going to have to add some thinner to this so I can thin it out. It shouldn't take too long to mask his face off, and then get the bottom here. And then once that's done, I can hit it with a dull coat, and then I can focus on his face. Since I work third shift, shouldn't have a problem over the weekend setting this up and start using the oils on his face, so I can get started on that. So today I'm going to focus on the bottom here and mask his face off. I did hit it with a clear flat coat on his face, so when I add the tape on it to cover the face up, it's not going to peel any of the paint off. Everything will be fine. It's going to be a little tedious getting that tape all up in here and then cover his face up so I can hit the bottom here with the light Ghost Gray. But I think the light Ghost Gray is going to look pretty good, and then I might go over that with the Ghost Gray for highlights with the oils, but I'll figure that when I get around to that. So I'm going to go ahead and pause, get working on this, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, back on the mummy. I got him in the spray booth. I'm going to go ahead and hit this bottom part of the mummy with the Model Masters acrylic light Ghost Gray, and it's number 4762. Hopefully I'm going to have all this in frame. Got the paint in the cup already. So let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully that's all in frame. hopefully I got that all in frame. It's looking really good. I'll hit it up a little bit more and then I'll finish up off camera. Well, I'll keep my fingers crossed that was all in frame. I'll go ahead, pause the camera, finish these up, and then I'll show the end results later. Alright everybody, back on the Mummy. Here's the results of the Light Goes Gray. Turned out really nice. It's looking good. Now I'll have to let this sit probably for a couple hours today, and then I'll hit it with a dull coat. I'll just go over the whole Mummy again. I did his face the other day, but with that gravestone gray on his face, hopefully that's picking it up on camera. That looks really awesome. And I noticed on this sculpt that it looks like he's got his pupils, so it won't be so hard to give him a set of eyes. I'll have to look at the picture again on my camera on my phone to see if it looks like he used eyes, whoever painted it, or they just painted it the eyes, or they used decals. I'll have to look at my picture I got on my phone again just to see how he did it. But the girls I did last year, they didn't have the pupils, which most probably busts don't have, but he does, which is good because he's got that one eye partially closed. But to get back to the Light Goes Gray, that turned out really nice. He's looking really good. After I hit it with a dull coat, I'll let that dry, and then probably tomorrow, which is Friday, September 6th, I may come back down in my shop and start using oils on his face. We got a little over 50 days left before I think Kenny said it's till the 29th of October is the deadline. So I still have plenty of time to finish him up. I still have to register on, I think it's Sci-Fi Annecy, so he can, once this is done, I'll have to send pictures to his email account so he can have it in the slideshow for the Halloween group build. But all I can say right now is I got 90% of him done. I'm going to oil this part down here and then his face. But for now, he's looking good. He's looking pretty awesome. I'm going to go ahead and pause for now, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, back on the Mummy. This is Friday, if I'm right with the date, September 6th. Back down in my shop, I got the Mummy right here, as you can see. I'm going to go ahead and start with the oils, and I'm going to go with the dead flesh. I've got some on this cardboard, probably way too much. I already got the thinner I'm going to use to clean the brush with, and I just picked these up at a craft store. They're for oil paints, and couldn't tell you the name. I'll show you what I have later, but I'm going to go ahead and apply the dead flesh on the whole head of the Mummy. So let's get started. I'm no artist here. I do my best, and hopefully this will all show on the Mummy's face. I'll try to keep it all, and it should be all in frame the way I got the camera set up. think the dead flesh is perfect for this mummy. You can see there, hopefully, there's a difference already in the color, which is good. This is what I did last year with the girls, but I'm getting better with setting up the camera. I kind of like the way I got it rigged up now. It's almost blending in with that gravestone gray, which is fine. It's a lot lighter though. And oil paints do take time to dry. It's not like enamel or acrylic. This can take a couple of days to dry. I'm not quite sure. I don't care if I'm putting it on. It might look on camera here, I'm putting it on a little thick, but I'm spreading it out pretty decent like. It's looking pretty good so far. This is good oil paints, 502. Top here, above his eyes. Looking good pretty so far. Like I said, I'm not even close to being a top-notch artist here. I try to just do my best. I think that's all we can do. It's looking pretty good. Make sure, yeah, it's still recording. Get back here behind his ears. looking pretty good. I know that I think it's the deadline Kenny said was the 29th of October. It's not that far off. That's why I figured I can only maybe do one bust this year. Last year was difficult. I was doing those two and my mother was passing away. And I, of course, spent more time with her. Sad to say she's almost been gone a year now. But getting back to the mummy, he's looking really good. Hopefully that's all on camera. You can see the difference here. I still got to get his eyes, his nose, his mouth, his chin. But he's almost there. Hopefully everybody can see that there's a big difference. It's looking really cool. Let's have him upside down so everybody can see. I'm going to get his eyes next. Looking good, looking good. Yeah, I use these oil paints on Flying Saucer, and it turned out really good. They're good for weathering and all that, but I wanted to get the set for kits and busts like this that you cannot always find in paints. Oh yeah, but paints, I'm not sure about that, but almost done here. Get underneath his chin here. I don't think that's going to show up on camera, but I'll go ahead and get that out of the way. I think it turned out pretty good. A bit more up here. Alright guys, hopefully that was all in frame. I'm going to finish him up around the bottom part where his neck is off camera. I'm also going to call this a wrap for part 2 on the Sci-Fi Fantasy Halloween Group Build 2019. When I get to the next oils that I'm going to use, which will probably be some of the Ghost Gray and the Faded Flesh, I'll go ahead and film those segments too, but wanted everybody to see how I do it. Like I said, I'm no big time artist. You know, I just do my best. Wanted to show everybody how I did the other two, but this year on Mummy. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and call this a wrap for part 2 on the Sci-Fi Fantasy 2019 Halloween Group Build. I'd like to thank all my YouTube subscribers. I'd like to thank everybody for watching, and I'll talk with everybody later.